can be expensive. Like, really expensive. Thousands of dollars expensive. Or millions of dollars expensive. I see so many comments about how ball-jointed dolls, even fashion dolls, even collector general dolls can be super expensive, which is true. But I thought it would be really fun and kind of sobering for us to look at some really, really expensive dolls that have been sold over the years. Now to clarify, these are not going to be the retail price of each of these dolls. Rather, it's going to be more like the auction price or the final sale price. Okay, so nothing in this list is under $25,000. So let's start with number 1, aka Barbie number 1. So the first Barbie was introduced both as a blonde and a brunette in March of 1959, I think. This Barbie was the one you think like quintessentially who wears like that black and white striped bikini. Well, one piece, I think. Yeah, it's definitely a one piece. And who has her hair pulled up into a high top. Now, while there have been reiterations of this doll over time, the original run from the 50s can really fetch some money at auction. It's pretty safe to assume you would get over $10,000 for one in pristine condition at auction or on eBay or whatever. I can't even imagine spending 10 grand on eBay. So even though the original retail price of the doll was $3, not adjusted for inflation, there was a Barbie number 1 doll that sold on eBay for just over $27,000. All right, if you thought that was wild, we're just getting started. For this doll, we're sticking around in the 50s, but we're switching manufacturers. In 1951, Madame Alexander released 6 mystery dolls, which included the extremely rare and exceptionally elegant pink champagne doll. This doll had like a peach-colored outfit, an embroidered lace gown, satin shoes, and even a taffeta skirt. Very fancy. The doll was even accessorized with pearl earrings and a little purse that was embroidered and made out of tulle and brass. It sold at auction for $44,000, and the auction was in Annapolis, Maryland, and it's Thoreau's, I believe is how you pronounce this auction house. Quite a few of the dolls in this list sold through Thoreau's. We have officially passed into another price category already, which is wild, but we're going to be looking at a doll that sold for over $75,000. I know, spoilers. So let's talk about Marina Enchanted doll. Now, I couldn't find the exact sculpt that sold for this much, although I do think it might have been the one I've pictured here. I think it's Cinderella 2, maybe. Now, this doll was created by Canadian-Russian doll sculptor Marina. I cannot pronounce your last name. I'm so sorry. These dolls are ball-jointed dolls, but they are made of porcelain rather than resin. Well, it is pretty typical for these dolls to sell for over $10,000, sometimes $20,000, $30,000, etc., etc. The most expensive one I was able to find got $76,000 on eBay. Pretty wild. Now, if you thought that was expensive because it was a ball-jointed doll, you'd be wrong. Our next doll maker to be on this expensive doll list is actually Barbie again. So in 1999, Barbie reached out to diamond manufacturer De Beers, I'm not sure, I don't know diamond stuff, but something like that, De Beers. And this was in celebration of their 40th anniversary. Barbie is not the jeweler. So Diamond Barbie has a dress on that has over 160 diamonds on it. And when I say dress, it's more like a bikini top and a skirt, but you know. Okay. The clothes were really pretty, and this being like a one-off, super special limited edition, basically had collectors foaming at the mouth to get this doll. And so when it went up for sale, this doll went for like $85,000. But you know, to be fair, having 160 diamonds on your clothes probably brought the price tag up anyways. Like at that point, are you paying for diamonds or are you paying for the Barbie? Barbie was on a roll though, because she is all over this list. She is an icon. This doll was manufactured as a promotional piece for Barbie and the Diamond Castle. Popping off on the diamonds here. And in quintessential Barbie style, she was in a very cute pink princess gown. This doll had 44 round cut stones, which included 318 real diamonds in her dress. So take that, Diamond Barbie. All of her accessories, including her necklace, earrings, the tiara on her head, her shoes, her bracelet, and her ring were all made out of diamond and white gold. When this doll sold, she sold for $95,000. Not to be outdone for the 40th anniversary, 50th anniversary topped it off. So following a really successful collaboration in Australia, Barbie reached out, and by Barbie I mean Mattel, because Barbie, not a person, sorry. Mattel reached out to Stefano Canturi. I'm not a fashion girly, I don't know, I'm sorry. But the idea was for him to create a super special, rare, one-of-a-kind Barbie, which was being kind of paraded as world's rarest Barbie. I feel like anytime you call something rare. And to add to that rareness, the doll was dressed in a gown, but it had a necklace with a super rare pink diamond on it. I've never even heard of a pink diamond, to be honest. The doll sold at auction for cancer research and fetched a whopping $302,500. Okay, it's time to get away from Barbie Land and get back to other doll manufacturers and artists and stuff. So let's talk about the Richard doll. This was a 19th century, so very vintage doll created by Antoine Edmond Richard. The doll was kind of paraded as being pale and elegant and 30 inches tall. And the doll also had parted lips, which was very unusual for the time period it was made in. Apparently, if you looked into the mouth, there was like a kaleidoscope effect. I feel like that's terrifying, but you know, to each their own, I guess. I think the most notable feature of this doll is the breastplate, so kind of like this part of the doll, which was like a necklace, but like, I think they were stuck into the doll, and it was made of 28 Stanhope gems. And at the time of this auction, all but 2 were still there. So I guess 2 had fallen off and they're somewhere in the world now. Of the 26 remaining, 24 of them had these like little pictures in them. Micro pictures, like tiny, tiny little pictures. Like a millimeter wide tiny pictures. And inside all of these pictures were basically images of Paris or like other parts of Europe, France, all of that. France is in Europe, but you know what I mean. As well, this doll was one of only 5 or 6 patented Richard dolls in the whole world. So yeah, it's pretty rare. And it sold at auction for $333,500. I did have to reference my notes for that, sorry. Let's talk about another super old doll with a super high price tag. We're going to talk about the Kammer and Reinhardt 101 doll. So this is one of these bisque head type dolls. But the doll had these really nicely painted blue eyes with like the black dot and then the white dot reflection dot thing. The mouth on this one was closed and it had a short brown wig as well. Now, while the head was bisque, the body was wooden and composition, so I guess maybe some fabric and stuff. And it was dressed in these like mauvey purple shorts that are like velvety and then like a cotton top that was green. The doll also had like its underclothes, white socks, and white leather shoes. At auction, this doll sold for over $400,000. Okay, here we are at the end of the video. And at the beginning of the video, I did say that there were a couple of dolls that went for millions, and that's where we're at right now. So let's talk about the craziest, most expensive dolls that ever sold at auction. Final Boss Edition. Hopping back to a doll manufacturer we mentioned before, we're going to talk about Madame Alexander, and specifically we're going to talk about the Eloise dolls. The Eloise dolls were a set of 5 limited edition dolls, all of which were called Eloise, and all of which were super fancy and luxurious. Each doll basically has a ton of Swarovski crystals on it, but there was also like some diamonds and other just general luxury materials. Now, the other caveat to these dolls were they were basically couture dressed by like high-end designers. Again, not a fashion girly, but... So like to give an example of like designers, there was an outfit from Christian Dior. There was some fur by Oscar de la Renta? Oscar de la Renta? Again, I don't... And then there were also accessories by Catherine Bowman. Now, only 5 of these dolls were ever made And I didn't see any actual verification of any sold at auction. However, the price that's kind of been put on it is kind of like its estimate at auction, should one ever show up. And for all of those reasons, I guess, the projected value of this doll is probably one of the highest in existence. So these 5 Eloise dolls in mint condition are reportedly supposed to be worth around $5 million. Like, can you imagine that you had like 3 of these in your attic? God, even one of these, geez. But we are here at the end at number 10. Although I haven't really been numbering these, but there is one doll, again, that wasn't sold at auction, but has a higher even than $5 million dollar price tag on it. And that is Azilda, sorry for my French, which is basically the bird trainer doll. Although doll, I don't know, it is a doll, but is it a doll? I don't know, you let me know. So this doll is 4 feet tall and made of over 2,000 steel parts. She's sounding like a robot, but she's not. As well, this doll took 12 workers in a Swiss factory, over 15,000 hours to complete. So why I said, is this a doll, is most dolls are stationary, they don't really move, although that's kind of changing these days with animatronics and stuff. This doll actually moved though. But it's not moving because of batteries or like an electric plug-in power. It's actually just a ridiculous amount of like cogs and gears. I don't quite understand how it works, but it works. The doll also has a bunch of birds around it and on it and all of that like move in tune to like a flute rendition of, and please, again, forgive my French, Marché de Roi. The doll is also dressed in like this really nice like Renaissance style outfit, which also includes, of course, gold and pearls. And that is because this doll has an estimated value of $6.25 million. All right, well, thank you for coming on this wild journey with me. I hope this was interesting to some of you. It was really interesting to me. I didn't think a doll would ever sell for more than $1 million. If you want to see me do like a breakdown of the most expensive resin ball jointed dolls that ever sold, let me know. That might be fun to look into. So yeah, just let me know down in the comments. Maybe we can dig into that. But for now, let me know what you thought of this video, or if you have heard of any of these dolls, or if you have any of these dolls, don't tell me, just like go talk to an auctioneer. Do not advertise yourself in the comments, because these dolls, the prices be wildin'. But anyways, if you're already subscribed, thanks so much for subscribing. If you're new here, I hope you like the content and consider subscribing. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Oh my god, I can't even say